Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today, we have on our show PJ Dixon, and he's a life, love, and relationship coach at PJ's Wisdom. And I'm so excited to have him here today because we're talking about flirting for fun. So before we jump into it, though, ladies, I know you want to know more about PJ. So PJ, could you tell our audience a little bit about you and how you became a life, love, and relationship coach?
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to be a speaker from the age of 7 throughout my entire life. And then throughout, my childhood and high school and college and adult life, I've always been the one that couples turn to for advice, or guys turn to attract women, or women turn to attract men, or can you please help me figure this out? So the natural process was for me just to move into this space. And my business coach saw it. My first business coach saw it long before I saw it as a viable business.
Well, and that's why you had a coach, because sometimes the coach can make you see things that you don't normally would see, right?
Exactly. That's why we have coaches in all aspects of our lives, because they are there to see the blind spots that we don't see.
Exactly.
They help us and encourage us.
Exactly. So tell us your first tip on flirting for fun.
All right. I love this one because we can flirt to be sexy, or we can and we can flirt to be an equal, or we can flirt to be like a little bit ladies like to be a little bit submissive, right? And have the man drawn to you. So I love this idea. You know that men like to banter and tease and play with you a little bit, right? I love to borrow this idea from improv. Improv has rule number 1 in improvisation is yes and. Right? So if he's going to tease you and play with you, just go with this idea of yes, accept what he's saying, and add to it. For example, if Suzanne and I were just to kind of banter and play back and forth, and I was like, I'm going to take you to the moon. And she's like, you should definitely take me to the moon. And we should go in your 1957 Chevy. And I'm like, yes, and we should put all these balloons on the back of it and put just married so that people can see that we're going to the moon. And she's like, yes. And so we're just adding and playing with it and getting silly, right? And that's just something kind of off the top of my head. But if we did this, I was like, oh, I'm going to take you to the moon and back. And she's like, yes, and we should go in the 57 Chevy. And I say, you can't go in the 57 Chevy, silly. The moon needs that. You have to take a spaceship. I just killed it because I said no. I didn't accept what was going on. So yes, and allows you to be this bantering, playful person back and forth and tease him and take his joking and continue to roll with it. And as you do, he'll be like, oh, she's playful. I like this. This is super fun. Because now he doesn't feel like he has to do all the work. You're being playful that now he can also key off of what you're doing. So this playfulness creates a sense of equality, and he doesn't feel like he's having to compete for your attention. He feels like you're wanting to give as much as he is. In essence, you're becoming partners in the moment, right? Partners with play.
Well, also, it's funny, PJ, when you gave that example, what I actually started to envision, and then you started to go in, it was like he was playing a game, and then she joined in the game and started playing it with him. And if she didn't play the game, then it would have just been him and it just wouldn't have worked. So it's almost like you're playing a game together. And trust me, ladies, no matter how old a man is, he wants you to play his game.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? Just a real quick addition to that is I can't remember. If I think of it, I'll tell you.
Okay.
It is about, you know what, Suzanne, you also, when I started to do that, you smiled. And so the natural process is that it becomes playful. Right? Okay, so, and if we're talking about flirting for fun, my second tip is kind of broken up into the 5 senses: sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch, right? So how can we use our senses to flirt? If we use our eyes, we can stare at somebody a little bit longer, right? Until we know that we've got their attention. And then we can look away, kind of demure-like, and then look back, and then look away again. So what you're doing is being a little bit playful, but also this idea that, hey, I'm interested in you, right? You can also be flirty by talking with him and looking at his lips, which says very clearly that I want you to kiss me, right? So this is kind of fun. So don't forget about your senses, right? The sense of smell. I love this one because for me, this is one of the most flirty things that you can really do. If he's like, wow, you smell amazing, and you like him, and you know he doesn't have a boyfriend or a boyfriend. Hopefully, he doesn't have a girlfriend, right? And even if you don't know, then say, do you have a girlfriend? And if he's like, no, I don't have a girlfriend, then you can say, give me your hand for a minute. And you can turn his palm over so he's wrist up, which creates a sense of submissiveness, right? And he's like, what's going on? I've never seen, what's she going to do? I'm curious. Is she going to read my palm? What's up? And you could reach into your purse and pull out your perfume and give him a quick squirt on his wrist and say, now he can think of me all day, and smile and just walk away. And he's like, oh my God, I think I just fell in love with this woman.
That's
right?
funny.
But you want to make sure that he isn't with somebody else because you don't want to get him in trouble. So make sure that you ask. But it's definitely a flirty, fun thing to do because now he wants to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
Touch, right? I love touch. And one of the things that you can do with all of these is combine all of these with your sense of use of your vision and your eyes. So touch him on his chest. If you want a man to know that you like him, then touch him on his chest and look at him in the eyes. You can use both hands facing him, or you can touch him on the chest and let your fingers slide from his upper chest to his middle chest as you walk away, and he will feel as if like he is drawn to you and wants to chase you down. So this is a very flirty, playful, hey, I'm very, very interested in you kind of thing, especially because you're already touching him. Okay?
But let me ask you a question. Is that too forward to do, though, on a first date? Because you also don't want to give a man the wrong impression of you don't have any intention of sleeping with them.
Right. I wasn't necessarily talking about first dates, but absolutely, yes, absolutely. You want to do what's comfortable for you, right? And if you are attracted to him and it is a first date, right, and you're standing fairly close, it's okay maybe just to touch him on his chest with one hand, right? And then just smile at him in the eyes and say, thank you, I've really enjoyed my night tonight, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really beautiful because when you touch him just with one hand, right? And it's on his upper pec, so it's above the nipple line, okay? When you touch him on his chest and you look at him, you also have your hand there, the strength of, hey, I'm keeping this space between us physically, but I'm also allowing you to know that I'm touching you because I do like you, but I'm not ready to get intimate yet. Does that make sense?
I really like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And because for me, I want to make sure that the ladies are safe, right? And then just a couple of the others, right? This sense of taste. You can always, like, you used this one the other day when you and I talked, and I loved it. Sharing appetizers, right? There's also the idea of feeding each other, which is kind of fun. And then also, ladies, if you want him to remember you and you are planning on kissing him, you can always use like a lip gloss that's got a flavor to it and just a quick kiss, right? And, maybe touch him on the nose, touch him on the cheeks, look him in the eyes for a little bit longer, because then he'll taste that. And in essence, you're leaving a message for him. You're leaving a breadcrumb trail on how he can find you and that he's allowed to find you. And then let me see. I thought I had them all. Sound. I always love this idea of, in essence, just whispering in his ear. And you notice that maybe my candor, my method of speaking has slowed down and softened. Ladies, if you're attracted to a man and you want to flirt a little with your voice, you know better than I do how to soften your voice, maybe make it a little bit husky and slow down in your speaking just a little bit. And notice how I'm like moving my head as I'm talking, right? It kind of draws him in a little bit. So using your body, using your eyes, using the sound of your voice, don't forget all of the qualities that make you a woman and that make you a human being. All of these senses are beautiful.
I love that you said to use the five senses because I think everybody forgets about the five senses and they use maybe like two of them.
I think so too. And we're talking about flirting for fun. There's all kinds of ways that you can flirt and tease and be playful, right? And it's all about that. Are you flirting? Are you doing it for fun? Or are you doing it for to draw his attention because you want to attract him? There's lots of reasons for flirting. Okay?
Right. And I feel like if you use all five senses, then it exponentially is like flirting on steroids.
Mm-hmm. It totally is. And this is one of the things that makes you beautiful to him, which you and I at some point will talk about again. But this idea of that one of the things that helps women become beautiful to a man is this amazing sense of sensuality that women have. They use all of their senses, and that attracts men. They're like, wow, I'm really fascinated by that because we don't do that most of the time. And so we're drawn in by that. So ladies, beauty is flirting, is attractive attract a man, obviously, on all kinds of levels.
Awesome. Well, these have been some great tips. So, PJ, tell our audience how they can find you.
Perfect. Engagedin1year.com. Engagedin1 year.com. You can go there and sign up for 4 of my amazing videos on how to find, attract, and keep the man of your dreams. All right?
Awesome. Thanks so much, PJ, for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, go to singleandstilettos.com. If you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you'd like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, just click right here on the video or go to singleandstilettos.com.